What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dump Pouch and my first ever gun review ever. Today we're going to be looking at the Dan Wesson Wraith in 9mm.
Now this particular Wraith is chambered in 9mm. They do also chamber in 45 and 10mm. That's all they had to shop, so this is the one I got.
Now, how I like to start my reviews is how a rifle or a pistol feels like when you first pick it up at a gun store. I would say the first 20 seconds you take to finger bang a firearm is going to be a deciding factor of whether you're going to love it or not. As with the Wraith, consider the first moments when I handled it very tasteful foreplay. That'll leave you teased about, taking it home and making it your very own.
Now the Wraith comes in just your typical standard plastic box, molded for 2 magazines and the gun itself, and then of course your user manual and paperwork up on the top half there. So one of the first things you're going to notice when you pick up this gun is that it will want to stick to your hand. That is thanks to the 25 lines per inch LPI checkering that they did on the front and the back strap there. In addition to that, you have these almost like tree bark like textured grips, and with that combination, even if your fingers were oily, greasy, or sweaty, I have the utmost confidence that you are not going to let this slip out. It just absolutely grabs to your skin and gives it a solid grip. You could say that the grip might be a little bit too aggressive, but if you're wearing gloves or you have a little bit more callus on your palms, then it's the perfect amount where, it won't really distract you or hurt you when you shoot this thing. If I had to do anything differently, and this is just probably my personal preference, but the little jagged edges on the tree bark grips are a little sharp, and I do feel them in my palm. And if I were to do it again, I'd probably switch them out for something a little bit less aggressive, but nothing that requires immediate attention. Moving up from the grip, we have the thumb safety. Very positive clicks, very solid. It is not ambidextrous, so right-hand shooters rejoice. The hammer they went with this is a skeletonized square hammer. Very positive clicks when you go do the half cock and a full cock. Easy to decock and depress with the grip safety, and with the little serrations on top, you get a nice positive feel with it when you try to reach for it with your thumb. The sights that come with this are the Ameriglow 2-dot suppressor height night sights. You might know them better as the Heine straight 8 sights. Instead of your classic 3 dots, you just have 2 dots, one above, one below. And that does help with faster target acquisition. Now, some people say that, with the 3 dots, you could misalign them in the dark if you crook your wrist or one way or another, but I really don't see that happening. However, that being said, I do like the 2-dot system. It's easier to pick up and easier to align. Not that if you ever do go shooting in the dark, I do find them a little bit more practical and easier to use than the 3 dots. Now here's a quick clip of how they would look in low light. The 2 dots are slightly different shades of green, so you could pick up, which one's the actual front sight versus the rear sight.
Now the next part we're going to move on to is probably the most important part of any 1911. Is going to be your trigger. If you fondled any other 1911 trigger, they're going to be pretty good across the board, and that's just how it's designed with the great grip safety. So if you check the Dan Wesson one, you're going to have a very clean, minuscule take up, no grit at all, and then I'd say a 2 or 3 pound break. If you want to look at the reset here, minimal movement, very positive click. Break again, very consistent. And with a trigger like this, I'd have no issue, putting accurate, fast follow-up shots one after another. All right, now moving on to the barrel. The Wraith does sport 5 3/4 inch match grade threaded barrel. Very nice finish, very nice machining. Has that tiny little bulge there that you see at the muzzle end to help it keep tight tolerance with the bushing here. Comes with this beefy checkered thread protector. And this is threaded for 1/2 x 28, so it'll fit your standard 9mm compensators or suppressors. I specifically bought this one because I knew I was going to stick my Osprey on it. And, you know, just with a little timing. And that's what it looks like with the Osprey on it. I think the Ospreys particularly look a lot cooler when they're paired with 1911s, and this one's no exception. If you want to take a look at the sights, the sights are, you know, just high enough that will clear the Osprey. And the guys at Dan Wesson, you know, designed this, I think, particularly to be fired suppressed, because it does a damn good job at it. So slide action fitment, the slide and frame fitment is phenomenal on this particular Wraith. The action, when you cycle it, is ball bearing smooth. And I think that's just a testament to quality and precision machining that Dan Wesson puts out. Now, one thing you do realize when you do cycle the slide, compared to your 45 caliber 1911s, the 9mm takes significantly less effort to rack. And it makes sense because when you're putting a 9mm into your same old 45 steel frame platform, a 9mm is going to put a little bit less blowback than a 45. So what they do to make up for that is they put a lighter recoil spring down here. And honestly, I think I kind of like it because it's just a lot easier to rack. If you want to clear a malfunction, it's almost effortless. And one of the things which shouldn't be a deciding factor for buying a 1911, but helped me buy mine, was you could do that John Wick press check right here. And you could either, you know, I think it looks cool, but to some of you, it might be stupid and impractical. But no, half of owning a gun is how cool do you look with it, right?
When it comes to actually shooting the Wraith, the long barrel and the weight makes this a very light and flat shooting pistol. There's very little snap even when you're walking and aiming. Your sights just stay on target. Generally 45 caliber 1911s are already pretty flat shooting, but one chambered in 9 just makes it even more tame and controllable. When shooting suppressed, this thing is quiet, like mouse farts. Lockup timing seems to be almost perfect, as I didn't really experience much, if any, gas blowback. Reloads are very smooth, especially with the magwell. It really helps guide the magazine back into the pistol. And the action just feels like you're locking a cannon breech every time you rack it and drop the slide on a new mag.
Well, ladies and gents, that just about concludes it for my review for the Dan Wesson Wraith. I know 9mm 1911s are considered heresy by some purists, but when you consider that you do move up to 10-round mags and you get the flatter and softer shooting of a 9mm compared to a 45, I do see these viable in competitions, shooting with friends, or if you're just looking for good suppressor hosts. Would not personally carry one of these. This is a 2.5 pound pistol. Would be a great break if you want to throw it at somebody. If you ran out of ammo, and I know some of you behemoths out there will carry a full-size 1911 all day, and all power to you. But for me, with my frame and stature, it's just not what I would personally carry. But that being said, thanks again for tuning to my channel, my first ever gun review. If you have any questions or comments on how I could improve my future reviews, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.